I get asked a lot how I became a loan officer, how I got involved in this crazy world of originating. And truth be known, it's not something that I dreamed of or aspired to be when I was a little girl. But I found that helping others really was helping myself. And I had really good mentors and people I trusted and admired that were originators. And so I was introduced to this crazy world, and as soon as I started making really good money because I had the right systems in place and good mentors. I became a part of a mastermind coaching group, and the rest is history. What makes a successful loan officer, in my opinion, or what's contributed to my success, is implementation of strategies and systems. Without them, I experienced unsuccessful moments in my life. And as soon as I applied these ideas and principles and systems, my income skyrocketed. It was pretty simple. It's not something that I was taught in Mortgage 101. But as soon as I surrounded myself with like-minded people, coaches, mentors, read really great books, and applied these principles, my life took off. I found balance. I found I could leave the office without always calling in and checking up on my processor. I could turn over a loan and not worry about it being processed or funded because I knew these systems were in place. And systems in place equals profitability. Profitability to me equals success. My thoughts on delegation are quite simple. The more you delegate, the more successful you become. I was at a point in my career where I was extremely anal and very much a control freak, if you will. And as soon as I found out how to successfully delegate, my life became more balanced. I was able to not worry about those little things that I was spending time on, those $5 an hour type tasks. Successful delegation is everything in business in general, but it definitely applies to being a loan officer. The only way, in my opinion, to have balance in your life is to have systems in place and to know how to delegate. That is the true recipe to my success. If you look back 4 years ago at my mortgage career, you would have seen me not delegating, no systems, and stressed out working 80 hours a week while having 4 children and a high-maintenance husband. And as soon as I figured out how to put systems in place, to start trusting others, delegating to others, I quickly learned that I could build my career around my life versus building my life around my career. And fortunately, I learned sooner than later. I learned as a little girl that going the extra mile will get you everywhere. And so I took this same principle, the same idea, the same moral, and applied it to my mortgage career, going the extra mile for my clients. And in doing so, I found that adding value-added services and staying in front of these clients put me at top of mind. So when anyone thinks about refinancing or purchasing a home, or even referring their loved ones to a loan officer in the mortgage business, they think of me. The advice I would give female originators today, especially in this environment, being filled with males and being on a roller coaster ride in the mortgage business, would be to find balance. Women have a hard time finding balance. They're pulled in so many different directions, and it's easy to burn out in this business. I've been there dozens and dozens of times. Fortunately, I had really good mentors. I had coaches, and I educated myself on how to find this balance. And it wasn't as simple as everyone makes it seem. It was trial and error. But I had great support from my spouse, I had great support from my employees, and I again surrounded myself with like individuals. And I found one thing that I excelled in, and that was holding my borrower's hands. As corny as it may sound, holding my borrower's hands got me ahead of the game. Because I cared and because I was willing to listen to their problems, they trusted me. And when you have trust with a financial decision, you've got a client for life, and it's pretty much that simple. One of my greatest loves in my mortgage career today is our mastermind coaching group. I feel there's a great connection. It's a group of individuals or a community where we all belong. We all have the same trials and tribulations, and we get to share our ideas of how to overcome these. And by not only being a mentor, I am taught by these individuals as well. Again, it's a community where we all belong and share ideas that make us successful in our mortgage businesses. The best advice I could give any mortgage professional, but especially women, is to never give up. So many loan officers get to that 99-yard line and decide that this isn't for me, or I'm never going to cut it, or I'm never going to close that big deal, or I'm never going to make the kind of money that I want to make. And so they quit while they're ahead, not even knowing it. And my success has really been based upon not quitting. And believe me, there's been days that I wanted to quit. There's been months I've wanted to quit. But sticking with my belief system and learning learning how to implement systems, and learning how to build these iron cages around my clients, it ensures a pipeline. It's like having a life insurance policy in place in the mortgage business. By learning these success principles and applying them and just keep trudging forward, that's been my success. I think one of the biggest challenges women loan officers in particular have today is charging what they're worth. For many years as a loan officer, I always felt that to be justified or to get the deal, I had to drop my fees. And what that did essentially was tell my borrower that I wasn't worth what I was willing to charge. Now, I quickly learned that having expert status and specializing in a niche justified me charging what I was worth. Whether it's 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, it's whatever you think you're worth is what the borrower is going to pay. I often get asked this question: how do I justify charging higher fees than my competitors? And it's quite simple. If you ask one of my borrowers, they'd be able to tell you. I go the extra mile. I give my customers more than they ask for, more than they expect. So when they leave the closing, when their loan's funded and they're living in their home, enjoying their lower interest rates in this beautiful home, they remember Jessica going the extra mile. That's what success has meant to me in my business.